Unified, I believe, was at 54 points. And I guess this is the jock in me coming out. I played a lot of games, and 1 point's as good as 100. I mean, if you lose, whether it's 1 or you lose by 100 points. So I have some real questions there. I appreciate how you did it, and I think you did it the appropriate way, but this is a unit contract, and there's other ways to figure it, and as you just said, Ken, if it's a different type of storm that causes different damages, that completely changes who may be the low bid and who may be the high bid. And so it's, you know, I think you did the right thing in using Hurricane Ivan, but having done the right thing doesn't mean it is the right thing, because we have all these unit prices, and if I'm not mistaken, and I think I tried to look through them and count them, there were like 50 different items that could be all fit in there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. There was a large number of I don't know the exact
count. I don't know how many, but there was I won't say that because that wasn't very nice. There were a bunch of them. I'll say it like that. And you used basically nine different items. And I don't have a problem with that, but there were still 50 items that were listed. So depending on which of those 50 items you used, you could have gotten, how many different bidders did we have, 13 or 14?
13.
We could have had 13 different low bidders perhaps. So I really have problems awarding a contract on a low bid basis when we say in our document that we sent to them, we say we're going to do it not on a low bid basis, but on the most qualified basis. That's what I'm going to vote tonight. That's the way I'm going to vote tonight, because that's what the city said we were going to do. Now, is it right? If we made a mistake, then we need to correct that mistake. But what we asked to do and what we said, who we said the winner was going to be, was a person that said the most qualified bidder, and you've already indicated who that is. So that's where I'm coming from on this. That's all I have.
Any other? Again, going back to, I guess I shouldn't get in the conversation here, but again, I understand what you're talking about, Rick, but again, we've got the law we have to contend with regardless of what our application said. Is there anyone interested in what I said as far as putting a caveat in this resolution? Okay.
I have to ask Tud's opinion on that.
Tut?
I'm kind of afraid to shoot from the hip on that right now. That would take a little thought. I wish I could give you an answer right now, but I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yeah, one question. What would your, hypothetical, if we didn't use the data from Ivan, you just threw it out and did not do that, how would you determine what recommendation to make to this council? If you did not use the data from Ivan, because as we said, Ivan, you know, we get different types of storms.
I would have had to have used strictly the document they submitted on its own merits, without any application to a known event. I would have had to look strictly at the bid documents. And all the items I listed, qualification, company experience, financial health, proximity, ability to handle large environmental disasters, and so on and so forth.
The same criteria.
Same criteria, but just without the help of a known event.
And so the actual low bid figure is based on if you applied his unit or their unit bids in each of the areas. That's how much each of these companies would have charged to clean up Ivan.
That's correct. That is a confirmed event that I can put my hands on.
Okay, and so when we look at this contract, really we're not looking at a $1.089 million, or we're not looking at, because that's an arbitrary figure based on a past event.
You're correct. You are absolutely
And
correct.
so if we threw those out and discontinue that, then we would have to go basically, strictly on qualified, and we had one at 54 and the next three would be at 53. And it goes back to that 1 point difference between the bidders.
Ken, let me ask you this. Again, I'm locked in on the debris and disposal. That's all it is. So what difference does it make whether we have a large hurricane or small hurricane? We still got debris out there we have to remove. So we talk about the intensity of the storm, the extra damage that it does over here. That really doesn't have anything to do with this. We're only talking about amounts of debris that has to be removed. Am I not correct on that?
Well, on the intensity of the storm, Mr. Mixon, a Hurricane Frederick, for example, would have generated millions of, hundreds of thousands of cubic yards of white goods because the power would have been down, refrigerators and freezers would have been ruined with food. They'd have all been on the sides of the road. A huge event causes other spins and other unit prices to kick in and could change the profile of the outcomes if you wanted to look at just unit prices. Given storms do change what units.
But again, we are just talking about debris and disposal, pick up a contract. That's bottom line. Okay.
But Lonnie, they're different. What I hear Ken saying, there are different types of debris. Some is wood and trees and stuff like that. Some are appliances.
Yeah, you got vegetative, you got C&D. You'll have, if it's bad enough, there'll be C&D from homes destroyed, cars destroyed, buildings destroyed. You know, we can, there again, we're getting into the hypothetical application of an event, none of which we've experienced yet, thank goodness. So we're falling back on Ivan's numbers.
Ms. Quinn, did you have something more you wanted?
I was just making sure I understood who was the actual low bidder as opposed to who you thought was the most qualified low bidder, which is kind of the same.
Any other discussion?
I've been thinking about what you said about that, and I think if we had put the caveat on there is about this lawsuit, we'd have to go back and put it on all 13 bidders and see if they got a lawsuit against them for anything. So I don't think it's practical just between me and you.
Okay. Okay, if you call the question, please.
Place 1, aye. Place 2,
No.
Council President.
Aye.
Place 4,
Aye.
place 5.
No.
Resolution is approved. Next.
Let's